Hello friends, welcome to CAPS Education. This is the part 1 of the video all about plants. Parts of a plant. These are the main parts of a flowering plant. Flower, bud, fruit, stem, roots and leaves, and the most important, seeds. Root. Now let's learn about root and its types in brief. Functions of root: holds the plant firmly in the soil. The root holds the plant firmly in the soil and it takes water and minerals from the soil to the other parts of the plant. This is very important. It takes water and minerals to the other parts with the help of stem. Some roots store food in them like carrot and radish. This is a picture of carrot and radish. There are two types of root: taproot and fibrous root. Taproot and fibrous root. Taproot. Taproot is one thick root with many side roots. Example: mango, neem, etc. This is the picture of taproot. Fibrous root. Small roots arise from the end of stem. Example: wheat and grass. Example: wheat and grass. So this is the picture of fibrous root. Stem. Now let's learn about stem in brief. Functions of stem: helps the plant to stand erect, carries or transport waters and minerals from root to the leaves. I repeat, carries or transports water and minerals from root to leaves. Also carries food from leaves to other parts of a plant. Some stems store food, example sweet potato and sugar cane. Some stems store food, example sweet potato and sugar cane. This is a picture of sweet potato and this is a picture of sugar cane. Types of stems: trees, example mango, neem, shrubs, example rose, tomato, herbs, example milk, mint, coriander, climbers, example buttergourd and money plant. They have different types of stems. Like we can see that shrubs have woody stem, trees have hard stem, herbs have green colored stems, and climbers have also green colored fleshy stem. Leaves. Now we will learn about the kitchen of plants. Leaves. They are known as the kitchen of plants or food factory of plants. They have green colored pigment called chlorophyll. So carbon dioxide plus water, sun's energy plus chlorophyll makes the sugars plus oxygen. Parts of leaf: blade, main vein and side veins, apex and petiole. This is a diagram of parts of leaf. Stomata. They are the tiny pores that are present on the underside of leaves that help in the exchange of gases. So this is a picture of some stomata. They are tiny pores that are present underside of the leaves that help in exchange of gases. Without stomata, a plant cannot be alive. Flower. Now we will learn about the most beautiful, most attractive part of the plant, that is flower. This is the stigma. This part we have also learned in the pollination. This part is the stigma. This is style. This is sepals. This is ovary. This part is ovary. This is receptacle. This is filament. We all know this is filament. This is the anther, and this is the most beautiful part, that is the petal. Thalamus or receptacle. Uppermost swollen part of pedicle that holds the four whorls. Four whorls are sepals, petals, stamens or androecium or pistils or gynoecium, and the pedicel is called the stalk of the flower. Sepals. They are green leaf-like structures that protect the flower in the bud stage. Petals. They are colored and interactive. They interact insects for pollination, and they are looking beautiful too. Androecium, male reproductive organ. Gynoecium, female reproductive organ. Stamen or androecium, pistil or gynoecium or carpel. Structure of stamen. This is the anther and this is the filament, and this is the structure of carpel or gynoecium. This is the style. This is the stigma. This is the ovary wall. This is the ovule. Okay. And I repeat, this is the stigma, this is the style, this is the ovule, and this is the ovary wall. Functions of flower. Flower changes into fruit and a fruit has seeds in it, and it helps us to grow more plants. Some flowers are edible. Example, cauliflower and broccoli. We all eat cauliflower and broccoli as flowers. Fruits are an important source of food for all animals. All the animals eat food because it is an important source of food for all the animals. Animals like giraffe eat leaves, and animals like squirrel take off nuts from the plants and eat them. Incomplete flower. Now let's see what do we mean by incomplete flower. A flower in which one or whorls is missing. Cucumber and date plants have incomplete flowers. This is the picture of incomplete flowers. An insect sits on the flower to suck nectar. For example, we have got a pet. A butterfly sits on a flower to suck the nectar of the flower. So they help in pollination. Pollen grains from stamen stick to its feet and wings. Insect sits on a flower and transfer these pollen grains to the stigma of another flower. I repeat, pollen grains from stamen stick to its feet and wings. Insect sits on another flower and transfer these pollen grains to the stigma of another flower. So by this cycle they help in pollination. In other words, we can also say that insect indirectly takes a plant, a seed, and it goes to the next plant and helps in pollination. This is a very, very, very important concept. A very important concept we all should know about. So this is very important. Please pay attention and please listen it carefully. This transfer of pollen grains from the Stamen to stigma is known as pollination. The transfer of pollen grains from the stamen to stigma is known as pollen grains. It can be done by insects, or it can be also done by humans. Pollination. This is another example of pollination. Transfer of mature pollen grains from the anther to the stigma. Pollination is done by wind, insects, bird or other animals. Now, the pollen grains sits on the stigma and grows a tube. This tube passes through the style and reaches the ovary. So, pollen grains reach the ovary, fuse with the ovules and form the seeds. This process by which pollen grains fuse with the ovules is called fertilization. I am repeating again. Now the pollen grains sits on the stigma and grows a tube. This tube passes through the style and reaches the ovary. So, pollen grains reach the ovary, fuse with the ovules and form the seeds. This process by which pollen grains fuse with the ovules is called fertilization. The process by which pollen grains fuse with the ovules is called fertilization. This is a picture of flower. Seeds. Seed coat is the outer protective covering of the seed. We all know about seed coat, the cotyledons and the embryo, but now we will learn about a little detail in it. This is the seed coat. The seed coat is the outer protective covering of the seed. Hilum is a small depression on the seed coat, and micropyle is a small hole with which water enters the seed coat. So, have you ever think how can water enter in the seed coat? It is sealed, but it has a small hole that is known as micropyle, and the hilum is the small depression on the seed coat. This is a diagram of seed coat, micropyle and hilum. Embryo has a radicle that forms future root and plumule that forms, I repeat, shoot. Embryo has embryo has radicle that forms future root and plumule that forms future of shoot. Cotyledons store food for the baby plant. When the baby plant is grown, embryo is grown into a seedling, then it is cotyledon shed. So this was about seeds. Types of seeds. The seeds of are two types: dicot seeds and monocot seeds. Dicot seeds. They have cotyledons. Example: they have two cotyledons. Examples are rajma, peas, and beans. Dicot means two, and monocot means one. Dicot means two. Remember this in mind. Dicot means two, and monocot means one. Dicot seeds have two cotyledons. Example: rajma, beans, and peas. And monocot seeds have one cotyledon. Example: maize, rice, and wheat. Example: maize, rice, and wheat. Germination. Process by which a seed grows into a seedling is known as germination. I repeat, this is a very important thing. We also know that the process by which a seed grows into a seedling is known as germination. Water enters the seed coat through micropyle. Seed coat swells and bursts. Radicle develops a small root and plumule develops a small shoot. This is very interesting, that radicle develops a small root while plumule develops a small shoot. Cotyledons provide food to the embryo till new leaves develop. Cotyledons provide food to the embryo till leaves develop. After that, the cotyledons shed. Finally, new leaves develop and cotyledons shrink or disappear. Repeat. Finally, new leaves develop and the cotyledons shrink or disappear. This is the picture of germination. Whenever you go to your garden, if you have planted some some seeds, then you will see that first it's in position number 1 like this. Its position is like this, and when it grows after 2 days, you see its position is like this, and after some days its position is like this. The seed is visible from the upside when it's 5 days past that you have born a seed. This is also an example of germination. Seed dispersion. This is very important. Seed dispersion. Now you tell me first that how do plants grow everywhere? I mean that how do plants grow anywhere? We don't plant the seeds, or anybody doesn't plant the seeds, but they grow by themselves. They grow by air. Very good. Then yes, water. Very good. By yes, animals. Now let's see them, what it comes in, how seed dispersal happens, and what do you mean by seed dispersal? If all the seeds fall under the parent plant, they will not have enough food, sunlight and space to grow. So seed dispersal is important. Now disperse means, if anybody says you disperse, you go out from that place. Yeah, like you don't stay with that person, you go away from that person and said that what he or she has said you. Like we can say, if all the seeds fall under the parent plant, if there is a mango tree and the good leaves of mango go into down in near the mother plant, there will be no sunlight for them, no food for them, no space for them. So seed dispersal is important. Seed dispersal means seeds are carried at a new place away from their parent plant. They are carried to a new place by their parent. Ways of seed dispersal: wind, example dandelion, cotton seeds, maple seeds, sycamore seeds. Animal dispersal: animals eat the fruit and seeds are either excreted through their faces or stick to their bodies or feet of animals. Example: apple, burdock, dhatura and are sticky seeds. Water dispersal: example lotus and coconut. Explosion: example explosion means they are exploded by example ladyfinger, peas, beans, balsam, etc. Explosion means they are exploded with great force, and when they are very overflowed, when the pea seeds are overflowed, they explode. So this is the picture of dandelion, burdock, lotus and peas. These peas are not exploded, but this is a picture of peas. Spore reproduction. Some plants like mushrooms, ferns and molds do not have flowers. So they do not reproduce by seeds. They have tiny seed-like structures called spores, and they reproduce by spores. Spores on the leaf of fern plant. This is a picture of spores on the leaf of fern plant. Now, vegetative reproduction. Now we will learn about vegetative reproduction. Now tell me your reviews. What do you know about vegetative reproduction? First, let's see our reviews. Some plants do not reproduce through seeds; they reproduce to other body parts. This type of reproduction is known as vegetative reproduction. By roots, carrots. Example: by roots, carrots vegetate. Carrot germinate. By stem, money plants germinate. Hibiscus germinates. Rose germinates. Potato germinates. By leaves, Bryophyllum germinates and Begonia germinates. I repeat: by roots, carrots germinate. Turnips germinate. Radish germinates. But by stem, money plant germinates. Hibiscus germinates. Rose germinates and potato germinates. By leaves, Bryophyllum germinates and Begonia germinates. So this is the picture of carrots, money plant, hibiscus. No, this is the picture of Begonia. I'm sorry. This is the picture of Bryophyllum. Bryophyllum and Begonia reproduce by its leaves. They have leaves upside their big leaves. So when the leaves fall down, they reproduce by leaves. Begonia and Bryophyllum reproduce by seeds, and carrot and carrot reproduces by roots, and money plant reproduces by its stem. So now it's the quiz time for you all. Now let's think about some quizzes, and I'll give you some quizzes. You have to think about the quizzes, and you have to answer that all quizzes in the comments below. Okay, now first quiz is: name the 4 whorls of flower. Name the 4 whorls of flower. I'm sure you must be able to answer this question. Name the 4 whorls of flower. Now question number 2. Identify structures in blue boxes. Here we have given a structure of flower. We have to identify the structures in the given blue boxes. You can pause this video and see this, write the structures in your copy, or also print this document. Question number 3. Define pollination. Okay, define pollination. I am sure that you must know the definition of pollination. Okay, so question 3 is define pollination. So our question number 4 is define seed dispersal. Okay, so what do you mean by seed dispersal? You tell me your reviews. What do you mean by seed dispersal? I repeat from all these questions. I'll tell you once again these all questions. Question number 1. Name the 4 whorls of flower. Name the 4 whorls of flower. Question number 2. Identify structures in blue boxes. Here I have given a flower diagram to you. You have to identify the structures in given boxes. Question number 3 is define pollination. Question number 3 is define pollination. Question number 4 is seed dispersal. Define seed dispersal. I repeat, define, see, disperse. You should tell me your own reviews and tell me in the comments below. So this was for today. If you like my video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe my channel, and also watch this video part 2. Thank you so much.